And it all comes down to this one, the final event of the day, the men's Taplin relay. And unlike we've seen all summer long, Jack, this isn't just a three-man Taplin, it's a six-man Taplin. This is really going to test the depth of some clubs.
No, it sure is, Josh. And I think, look, you look back through the rounds, and in round 3, Currumbin, they went 1 and 2 at Alexandra Headlands. You join those two teams together, they're certainly going to have some strength, and they're going to be my pick here today at Freshwater.
Newport, Northcliffe, they're always strong. Definitely ones to watch. Alexandra Headland have been in the mix in the three-man. Expect more of the same here, but maybe you never know. You might see a couple of random sides jump up. Your Terrigals, your Wanders, or your Redheads. They finished with bronze at the Australian Championships last year behind Surfers Paradise. A bit of an upset in the mix of things, but that's what you get with Taplin relays. Guys stand up, they pull out performances that they normally wouldn't, and they do special things.
Yeah, it means a lot, Josh. It means a lot to the guys. Every individual that makes up the six-man Taplin, it means so much to them. They're representing their club, they're representing their families, and they want to go out there and show everybody what they're capable of doing.
I would love to know what a win at the Australian Championships feels like. I don't have one. I think we have 4 silvers, a couple of bronzes between us. The Northcliffe club so dominant in the last couple of years, 6 in a row before the last year when Newport got the win. It was a real breakthrough for the young guns.
Yeah, it certainly was a breakthrough, Josh. A breakthrough that Newport probably expected because they've put plenty of work in. And Newport are out in front here with Nathan Smith. So young guns versus some of the older guys from the Summer Surf, from the Manly Club. Nathan Smith, he does a great job, and we saw him feature heavily here in the surf race today.
The Northern Beaches leading out, Manly and Newport, a big rivalry, especially at the state titles there, but it's Freshwater, the home club, leads into the first turn. He sneaks around with Dan Collins, so it looks like Kurt Hansen there, former belt race winner at the Australian titles. We know he's going to be good early, but will he hold on the way home? And he set Freshwater up from the start. Dan Collins there, we saw him in the surf race. Unbelievable swim from him. And it looks like possibly there, yes, Northcliffe in 3rd, Newport in 4th as well. So that's our top 4 heading around. Nathan Smith, Manly in 5. So the big clubs stand up at the big moments. And this is it, the opening leg. Jack, it's all important, isn't it? If it's not set up in the opening leg, it's a long way back, especially with every leg going in fresh. Each competitor, they haven't gone around the cans. They're really fired up. It's so hard to make up ground.
Yeah, it certainly is, Josh. You've got to get off to a great start, set the race up from the very beginning, and that's what happens in the Taplin relay. If you're not up the front end, although there are 6 legs to go, it's a long way to peg them back.
Each club chooses their best 2 in each legs. They're fresh and they're ready to go. It makes it hard. We haven't seen much of Kurt Hansen in the Summer of Surf in the last couple of years, in the water anyway, but he's doing a great job there out in front. Looks to be tiring just a little bit. A lot of arm action, but not a lot of legs. You have a look at Dan Collins. He's got that 6-beat kick really riding up, and a little bit of local knowledge here. It looks like Kurt Hansen's going to the left-hand side, and Collins picks up a wave on the right-hand side. So once again, youth beats experience. Can Collins hang on? It engulfs him and then shoots him out the front. What about this from the Redhead boys? Wouldn't it be something if they picked up a Taplin relay win here? But there is a long way to go.
There certainly is, Josh. Dan Collins has done a great job, and look at the gap he's opened up there. So the boys are still out the back waiting for a wave. Dan Collins about to stand up in the shore. He's done a great job. The Redhead boys will be certainly happy with the way he's set up this one here.
Talk about taking the fast track home. That is the best way to get through that white water. A wave over the top. Don't worry about swimming, just surf it. And don't worry about Dan Collins. He's a star of the future. First swim leg down, he'll come around the turning can, hand off to Isaac Costello, or palm off to Isaac Costello, and look how fired up Cozzy is as he makes his way in. The little man gets up and going, and it's all Redhead at this point. We can see the rest of the field coming up and around the turning flags. There's a massive gap here. Redhead is flying. Kurt Hansen doing it very tough as Jackson Maynard makes him look like he's going backwards there. These swimmers don't enjoy running. Timmy Schofield around for Terrigal. Oh, and there's a huge push on around the flag. Oh, and Dane Farrell's given it to Nick Green there. Nick Green lent in on Dane Farrell, pushed him around the flag, and he has answered back. The boys come around. Oh, there's a little bit of push and shove, and Nathan Smith is down on the ground for the tag. Jay Finesse goes in. It's a comedy of errors, but they're very fired up. What about that push and shove from Farrell and Green?
Is that okay? for Nick Green to lay out Nathan Smith like that on the line?
I don't know what's going on, but they do not care at this point. It is all about getting to their man, getting the tag, and they'll sort it out in the car park later on.
Well, we don't mind a bit of biff here, Josh, on the Summer of Surf, but we certainly don't condone fighting in the car park afterwards.
Keep your hands to yourself, Jack. Oh, I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know that.
You certainly are, Josh. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
You're not wrong, Jack. Isaac Costello, he isn't fighting anyone out in front. He is having an absolute dream run under the wave and into green water there. Redhead, they have been the big improver in the Taplin relay in the last 2 seasons, and they are putting on a showcase here at Freshwater Beach.
They sure are, Josh, and Isaac Costello's doing a great job out in front, set up by his teammate Dan Collins, the young gun, the bloke who won the surf race, and why wouldn't you send him first? And that's what it's all about. You've got to manage your team here. You want to pick your players in the right spots, in the right positions, put them out at the right time so that you can set this race up.
I remember being a young competitor and watching Zane Holmes for Kiwana Water. No matter what leg was first, they'd send him first because they knew how good he was. Swim, board, ski, it didn't matter. Zane Holmes was a champion, is a champion, and he was a winner, so they made sure they put him on the front, got them to the lead, and they did a lot better than they should have there for a lot of years.
There's certainly a lot of pressure on the guy that goes first, Josh, because realistically, setting up the race is up to him. If they have a bad start, you're pretty much out the back door. You can forget the race. It's almost all over. No one's going to give up, though. They'll certainly fight the whole way through, but it makes it very hard to claw your way back.
It's the old saying, Jack, you can't win it in the opening leg, but you can definitely lose it. And one side that doesn't look like losing it early on is Redhead. They're 4 and maybe 4.5 cans in front of maybe Newport in second place there, so a massive gap over the Australian champions at the moment. Maybe Kendrick Lewis swimming there for Newport. Have a look at Isaac Costello going for home, that huge 6-beat kick on the back there, driving him home like a motor. You leave it all out here, don't you? You don't leave anything in the tank. This is every effort you have in the final stages. Hope for a wave, get yourself around the flags, tag the next competitor, and then worry about being tired tomorrow.
This race, Josh, is a game of inches. Yes, it goes for a long time, but you can be a half a stroke too late or too early and you won't quite make it. And that's the difference between getting down these waves in the wave zone. You've got to stand up for your team and really try to extend that gap when you've got an opportunity.
This race is a race of inches, Jack. They're everywhere around you. They're in the waves, they're in the transitions, they're in the starts and the finishes, and those little inches end up making a big difference, and this little wave is going to make a huge difference for Redhead. Isaac Costello gets down the front, and the game of inches extends to a game of metres. It'd be almost 150 metres when he gets to the beach, but no, they're on a wave behind him, so the gap closes. We'd handed him a huge lead. It's going to be half that. He turns and looks around and goes, oh no, he is in a race of 4 at the moment, so just like that, this game can change.
Absolutely, Josh, and these boys have done very well to hold it right through to the beach. Isaac Costello came off about 10, 20, 30 metres from the shoreline, and that's cost him another probably 10 or 20 metres. Kendrick Lewis had a great swim to swim up on him there, and he's going to chase him round to tag these board paddlers now. The race is certainly not over.
Bronte's in third. Scott Pegg from Currumbin heads around in 4th place. So the wriggler, Stuart McLaughlin, goes in for Redhead. Max Brooks for Newport. These two had a colossal battle at the state championships last year. Max Brooks got a great wave to claim the title and end his run. Tommy Atkinson goes in for Newport B. So one of the stalwarts of the Newport club, a great competitor, former professional Ironman, and all-around champion bloke heads in. The rest of the teams, they're filing their way in. Terrigal's there, Noose is there. They're chasing Alex Head, so plenty of work to do for the boys from the Sunshine Coast. Corey Hartland heading in for them, and the wriggler gets a wriggle on. He's just broken away from Max Brooks. We can see he gets nice and close to the board. Oh, up and over one. Max Brooks forced to go under. He didn't even bother rolling. He just duck dived the thing. What a job there from Max Brooks, and the gap's ever so slightly opened up at the moment. Bronte chasing hard in 3rd place along with Currumbin. You'd expect Currumbin to come into the mix now. This is their real strength. Board, ski paddling, Tommy Atkinson flying.
Yeah, certainly a strong craft club, the Currumbin club. That's Michael Saul trying to chase down Max Brooks and Stuart McLaughlin. But Stuart McLaughlin, as soon as he got into the water, Josh, he went straight to work. He got his rating up, he got that board moving, and that's what got him through that break ahead of Max Brooks. Brooks.
It's all about speed, momentum and inertia for Stuart McLaughlin. 4 Australian titles. He's done it the hard way in a few of them. Had to win a couple of sprints up the beach, but he got the job done, and he looks like he's getting the job done here for Redhead. And you know, the trait of a good club is no matter what happens, even if a wave knocks them back, if they get jagged on, it doesn't matter. They go to the front again, they try and break away, and they try and win it for their teammates, and Stuart McLaughlin's doing it here. Max Brooks looks like he's down a runner on the outside. Watch him come. He says, thank you very much, Stewie. I'm going to be in this race, that's for sure. But no, it just fills up. They turn for home. It looks like they might get down this one, and Max Brooks goes to the front. Maybe Stuart McLaughlin's hurting just a little bit, having to do 2 races in one day. He had the board final earlier on. Max Brooks has got no dramas. He'll go all day. He's one of the toughest Ironmen in the business. No, Stewie McLaughlin's seen a wave, but it's opened it up for Max Brooks. That's definitely a mistake there for McLaughlin. Brooks doesn't care. He's pushing hard. He's going for home. It fills up. He's going to paddle the whole way to the beach if he has to. This is what a Taplin relay is about. Inspirational efforts, not waiting for waves, making things happen. It looks like Brooks, he's pushing. Will he get there? He's up first. It's a huge effort, but will it pay off? He's got a small gap. McLaughlin's running hard. It looks like Saul there from Currumbin, and Bronte's in the mix as well. Oh, they go round Redhead. Stewie McLaughlin, a bit of a dog act there, pushes Max Brooks into the flag. Oh, and it's still on around the second turning flag as well. So there's a bit of fire in this Taplin relay final.
Oh, there certainly is, Josh, and there always is a bit of fire because everyone wants to win this race. Every club wants to show every other club in the country what they're made of.
What about the strength at Newport there? They've got 2 teams in the top 5 of a 6-man Taplin. You need 12 competitors who are absolute top class to do that, and that is an incredible performance. Corey Hartland for Alex Head's running hard there in 6th place, trying to get into the mix at the moment, but there's a long way back. Hartland there, Noosa, Terrigal and Northcliffe as well, all in the hunt, in the top 10. Jet Kenny flying in.
Yeah, Jet Kenny's been a great feature of the Summer of Surf so far, Josh, and he has been on fire. So look to see Jet Kenny. We're going to hope that he can pull these guys back into the race. But there are 4 teams, 3 teams that have broken away from the 4th out in front and doing a great job.
So Redhead goes to the front. It looks like Newport 2nd, Currumbin in 3rd as they make their way out. Newport B trying to get in the mix at the moment. And then the rest of the field strung out a long way. And we're over halfway at the moment. And still the big 3 at the moment. Redhead, Newport, Currumbin, Alex trying to get in the mix. Jet Kenny, one of the best ski paddlers and one of the best board paddlers you will see in the Summer of Surf, trying to drag his side into the race at the moment, but there's a long way to go.
Yeah, well, Jet's got plenty to show this weekend, Josh. He didn't do too well in the individual events. Missed out on the ski final, missed out on the board final, so he's certainly going to want to have a big one here in this Taplin relay.
It makes the relays all the more important. And have a look at Reece Burrows and Kenny going stroke for stroke, and then on the front, Redhead and Newport stroke for stroke, almost in unison as they turn for home. The Currumbin boys just sitting back, waiting, hoping to get a wave. They turn the final can and push for home. We can see the surf has made a massive difference so far in this race, and it looks like it's going to make a difference here again. Newport on the front, Currumbin's on the wave, and so's Redhead. This 3-way battle will continue.
Absolutely it will, Josh. These boys are out in front. They've come down this one, so the chasers are going to find it really hard now. They're still going around those cans at the back. There's a couple of wave coming through now for 4th and 5th. I think Jet Kenny might be on one out the back, and I'd say Reece Burrows as well.
Oh, he looks like he's enjoying picking that one up. It makes the trip home all that much easier. Bronte will be on the 2nd wave, and a 4th, maybe Newport B as well. So we've got 3 on this one, 4 on the next one, a couple on the outside, and they're still in it. We've got 7, 8, 9 are going around. It looks like Redhead, then Newport, Currumbin. The race is on here. Alex, Noosa, Bronte, and Newport B. So a lot of the big clubs are coming in, and now it's time for the big boys, the ski paddlers. Mitchell Trim is on for Newport. He is absolutely up and flying. Terrigal trying to get in the mix. Northcliffe a long way back. You'd expect them to be closer to the front.
Yeah, they've had a tough day, Josh, as Jet Kenny hands over to J-Mo Porter, another class ski paddler, but he's chasing the likes of Mitchell Trim, a bloke that finished 2nd in the Australian titles 2 years ago. He's not going to be easy to close the gap on.
One man who absolutely loves a Taplin relay. A couple of the local teams teams come up and around. And one local, oh, Mitchell Trim through. He just gets the nose through and breaks away from the rest of the teams there. We see him really rile it up, and he's sucking in the big ones as he heads up and over a wave. Jordan Mercer's gone in for Noosa and heads out to see, oh, Jamo Porter's had to roll underneath one, and Jordan Mercer crashes through it. So I think Jamo's had to go under one. Jordy Mercer, no problems with that wave.
Yeah, that
Jack.
goes to show the skills there of Jordan Mercer, how good she is. She's a class paddler up against the boys, and she's shown Jamo Porter, hey, mate, you don't need to roll this wave. You can pop straight over the top.
I'm sure he'll love that when he gets back to the tent, but he's back in the mix. And one club that is definitely back in this one is Northcliffe. They've worked their way up into 4th place after being as far back as 10th. Manly with Nick Dorr, he is your ski race winner there. Got a lot of work to do, but you wouldn't want anyone else in the race, and I'm sure Newport wouldn't want anyone else but Mitchell Trim. He starts to wind it up for home. Jamo Porter has only just left Jordan Mercer behind and seems to be working into 3rd. Pete Scott pushing hard for Redhead on a wave outside. He'll come down Mitchell Trim. Pete Scott himself, an Australian ski race champion. It took him a lot of years to get one, and it was one of the most favoured wins in the history of the sport. There was big celebrations that night. So these two colossal ski paddlers, Pete Scott on the right, Mitchell Trim on the left, Redhead, the young up-and-comers, Newport, the big guns. They're going head-to-head, and reputations mean nothing in the Taplin relay.
No, they don't, Josh, and Mitchell Trim's certainly trying to do it for his team at Newport. Pete Scott's not going to let him have it his own way, though. He's been around for a long time. He knows what this means, and he knows what it means to the Redhead Club. So they're doing a great job to stick with last year's Australian Championship gold medalist, Newport. They're out in front, Redhead chasing hard behind. Mitchell Trim will come round the flag, tang off to his final ski paddler. This is the one, the final leg, Josh. This is what it all comes down to.
1st and 2nd at the Australian Championships, 1st and 2nd going into the final leg here at Freshwater. And don't we love to see some ski paddlers run? They grit their teeth, they puff themselves up, and they get those little legs moving around the turning flag. Here comes a couple more of them. It looks like Currumbin's in there. Bronte's in there as well, so they'll head down and head on the way out at the moment. Avoca just getting lapped at the bottom of the screen there. Don't worry about those guys. Up and over, Luke Morrison there. No problems through that one. And they've just opened up a small gap, ever so small gap on Redhead, and they're just trying to cling to 2nd place.
So picking up the leaders here, Josh, we've got Newport out in front on the blue and yellow. Following in about 20 metres behind him is the bloke from Redhead. So he's going to have a crack, but there is a gap to close. The other two ski paddlers we see out there at the moment are getting lapped by these front markers.
And our leader makes his way around the turning cans. Luke Morrison from Newport won himself a gold medal in the Taplin relay last year. Connor Book fires up for Alex. They seem to have gotten in the mix, but they're still in 3rd place and have plenty to do here. It is all on now for Luke Morrison and the Newport Club. He's turned the cans. What about Hayden White really starting to rev this ski up, get it going? There are very few ski paddlers who love a team event like Hayden White. Jack Moyes battles for Noosa. What about the Noosa team? They put Jordan Mercer in there, and they're still in the top 10. So what a performance from her, and what a performance from Noosa. That's what Taplin relays are about, filling holes no matter who you are, no matter what you do.
Well, that is what the Taplin relay is about, Josh, bringing the whole club together and using what you've got as Newport come down a wave in front. So that's Redhead to the bottom of your seam. We see them come off the back. Newport are on a wave by themselves. He'll hold this through to the beach. This will be the win, Josh.
Talk about using what you've got. You've got a wave and you've got a win. Luke Morrison looks around. He knows he's going to get home. Hayden Allen there pushing out for Wanda, trying to get inside the top 10. But these are your winners. They were the Australian champions. They've come all the way to Freshwater Blue, and now they're the Summer of Surf champions. Luke Morrison will take them up the beach. A 6-man Taplin victory. They don't come off very often, and it is very well deserved. What about Redhead? 2nd at the Australian Championships. Everyone said it was a bit of a fluke there. He runs past Ray Smith of Avoca. Take your hat off to Newport. They said it was a bit of a fluke at the Australian Championship for Redhead, but they are putting on an absolute performance here today. They are a contender for the title in the Taplin relay.
They certainly are, Josh, and Newport did a great job out in front. It was their race all day. And what I like to note for Newport there, that's their 2nd win in a row. They took out round 5. They've now taken out round 6 of the Summer of Surf. They are going to be a huge contender come the big events at the end of the season.
It looks like Bronte has rounded the flags for third place, but this is the race for fourth. They're going hard at it. It's Hayden White, Connor Book. It's a foot race. They're going at it. Look at Hayden White. He should be a beach sprinter. Forget the ski paddling. Hayden White gets Currumbin into fourth place there. But let's talk about our winners. Newport, what a performance. Back-to-back Summer of Surf wins. Brooks, Farrell, Louis, Morrison and Trim. What a team. What a performance. What a club. We head further down the page. Alex, Manly, Newport and Northcliffe were all in it up to their ears throughout the race. It was an incredible final, Jack.
It sure was, Josh, a great final, and that's what we like to see in the Taplin Relay. That's what we're used to seeing. Tight, tough racing.
Yeah, it's always good lining up with these boys. Like the Taplin, I reckon, hands down the best event on the calendar on the beach. So, mate, to come away with a win with these boys, Dane set it up perfectly and I just held my ground and everyone else just did their job and it all fell into place. So, mate, it's unbelievable, yeah.
Max, 6 man, it's quite an effort.
Yeah, it is. You know, everyone's got to try to do their job perfectly, and we're lucky enough to do that last year at Aussie. So we're just trying to replicate that race all the time, and yeah, just try and do the best we can.
And that's just it, building for the Aussies?
Yeah, exactly right. That was our first opportunity to come as a 6-man. We'll probably maybe keep with the same 6. You just don't know. So you try and build a bit of momentum over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we can give Aussies and State of Red a crack.
Well done, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up the port.
Well, the win there from Newport, just not enough to get them to the top of the overall point score. Northcliffe, the champion club, after 6 rounds, but I'm sure that will change as we head into the final 2. Currumbin, Noosa, Alex, Manly, Redhead and North Burleigh round out our top 8.